YouTube have made tons and tons and tons of changes that impact everyone, from viewers to advertisers to you, the creator. So this is every update YouTube has already made, plus a few more in the pipeline. But we'll start with the biggest update of them all that everybody has been asking for years. YouTube calls this feature test and compare, but everybody else knows it by its more generic term, A/B thumbnail testing. As long as you've unlocked advanced features on your channel, you can upload up to 3 thumbnails per video and have them compete to see which gets the most watch time for that video. After enough testing is done, YouTube picks the winning thumbnail to display to everybody until you decide to run another test. However, although this tool was one of the biggest requested features from the YouTube community, it's not without its, what you may call, minor controversies. It tracks watch time rather than the more obvious click-through rate, and some have said it actually negatively impacts video performance. It also gives you more work to do by having to make multiple thumbnails, but I have to recommend that you at least try this feature and experiment with big changes in your thumbnails. So that's thumbnails with faces, without faces, text, no text, and big color palette changes. In contrast to the previous update, I'm not exactly sure who was asking for this, but it's here now and you have some important decisions to make. Basically, any video that's a square format or longer into a vertical format and is less than 3 minutes long will now be treated as a YouTube short. This is great news for all of those creators who are constantly brushing up against that very strict 60-second time limit. This will give you a lot more freedom, but could that also be a bad thing? The early data suggests average view duration suffers on longer shorts compared to if they were watched as long-form content, and the revenue you will earn from a 3-minute short versus a 3-minute long-form video is minuscule. There was a brief crossover period when these longer shorts were being viewed as long-form videos, and as you can see, there is a massive drop-off in revenue once they were reclassified as shorts only. You are potentially losing out on 99% of the ad revenue. So my current opinion, and it is only an opinion, is that anything you create up to 90 seconds in length will probably do well as a short, but anything beyond that, up to 3 minutes, yeah, you might want to consider making the video in a landscape format so it's not treated as a YouTube short. But I do feel as if this update needs to be revisited in the future when we have more data, which is what we do here at vidIQ. You've probably seen this question pop up during the upload process by now, and maybe you've ignored it because, oddly, it's not mandatory. Yeah, anyway. The obvious assumption here is that this question is all about whether you're uploading AI content to YouTube, but that's not entirely accurate. It's more about whether the content you upload has a potential to mislead the viewer into believing something that was AI generated is actually real. Let me give you a slightly terrifying example. This is a thumbnail from one of our videos, and we just threw it into an AI video generator, and it created this. You're not going to be able to sleep tonight now, are you? Now that was literally created in 1 minute using Sora, which, to be honest, is about to cause absolute creative chaos. And creators who are far more skilled at this than me are already creating incredibly realistic versions of famous people saying and doing whatever they like. And so this is why the question exists. Put simply, if your content may mislead a viewer into thinking something is real when it's not, you should answer yes to the question. Now, this doesn't mean that the video will be penalized in terms of discoverability or monetization, but a label may appear in the video description or on the video itself to clearly state it's altered content. It's been a comparatively quiet year when it comes to monetization updates, but there are still a few worth mentioning, including a new way to fix copyright claims that won't completely destroy your video. When a copyright claim is found on a video, you now have a new action that lets YouTube remove the song but keep other sounds such as speech. As always with an AI tool, it will be sometimes a little hit and miss, but this is an example of how it cleaned up a video I tested the tool on. Alright, the only way this video is going to work is if you help me out right now. So let me know in the comments below how the audio sounds. Because 99% of the time, in my opinion, the audio you're hearing would not be fit for purpose. But it needs to sound like this because I'm trying to prove a point. Now, given that demonstration, the better option still might be to delete the video from YouTube, remove the copyrighted stuff locally on your computer, and then re-upload it to YouTube. And no, just in case you were wondering, this option is not available for videos with copyright strikes. So this is how suspension from the YouTube Partner Program used to work. A monetized channel would get suspended and automatically lose monetization. They would then have 21 days to appeal, and if that appeal was then accepted, monetization would be reinstated onto the channel. But now, in what I think is a positive move, it's changed so that creators can appeal the YPP suspension before losing monetization. So going forward, a channel will receive a YPP suspension warning but not immediately lose monetization. They then have 7 days to appeal a decision, and if that appeal is won, then nothing happens, the channel remains monetized. What this means is that there is an unbroken chain of monetization for a channel rather than immediately losing it and then having to appeal to get it back. It must be stressed, however, that this only happens in certain circumstances. If you are doing really bad things, YouTube still has the right to take immediate action and bypass all of this appeal process. I know that I mentioned earlier that ad revenue from YouTube Shorts was minuscule, but the positive news is that it continues to trend upwards. When ad revenue first came to Shorts, creators might get an RPM, that's revenue every 1,000 views, of 3 or 4 cents. This has now increased to typically above 10 cents, which is about a 300% increase. I think we'll all agree this still isn't great, but with TikTok seemingly in for quite a bumpy 2025, those advertisers need to go somewhere, right? And YouTube Shorts ad revenue may benefit even more. This feature has actually been around for quite a while, but was buried deep in the AdSense settings. Now it's available directly from the YouTube Studio settings, and it allows creators to block advertisers from specific websites and, more generally, ad categories such as dating, gambling, and alcohol. That is pretty neat and useful for monetized channels, and I don't have anything more to add, to be honest, so let's move on. On the face of it, this seems like nothing more than a renaming exercise, especially when you look at the desktop YouTube experience of communities where nothing has changed from when it was called comments. But the comments, now called community section of a mobile YouTube Studio experience, has changed with this community spotlight thing that shows you your most active commenters. And there is something much, much bigger coming into view when we think about YouTube communities. More on that later. A classic, nobody asked for this feature from YouTube, but here it is. Occasionally in comments, keywords will automatically be linked and execute a YouTube search for that term, so you can carry on browsing that content if you wish. Neither the creator of a video or the commenter themselves can control when this happens, so it all does seem a bit random, although typing Cybertruck always seems to work. So try it now if you want to confuse everybody who's flicking through the comments and hasn't got to this point in the video. Oh, and mobile only as far as I can tell. From a creator perspective, comment badges have been around for years, as beautifully demonstrated by Koifish Gaming here, who's an absolute legend around these parts. But now, YouTube has seen fit to introduce badges for viewers and what they do on the YouTube platform, such as answering quizzes. As far as I can tell, none of this is public facing. The user just sees it within their own account, so there is no competitive side to any of this. You can create YouTube courses now instead of YouTube playlists, which to be honest are very similar to YouTube playlists. You set up courses in an identical fashion to playlists, and viewers work through the courses in an identical way they would work through a playlist. The main differences are that courses have their own tab on the channel page, and there is a comment section for the course as well, so that I guess students can connect with each other if they want to. Given the reach YouTube has as a platform, I think the course feature has incredible potential to educate, and there is a financial incentive for creators. In the support pages, YouTube does say paid courses are in limited beta. I guess the challenge there is to convince people to pay for stuff on YouTube that is typically free. YouTube has finally realized that some people just hate shorts and are never going to watch any of them. So now from a desktop, you can click not interested, and within the YouTube mobile app, you can tap the 3 dots and tell YouTube to show fewer shorts. And who knows, maybe if you do it enough times, you might actually not see any more YouTube shorts. Fingers crossed. Yeah, making thumbnails for shorts is now possible, but it is pretty annoying. You still can't do anything from the desktop YouTube experience, but there are limited options within the mobile YouTube app. You can select a custom frame from the video and then add text, emojis, and filters to make them somewhat custom. But it's still some distance away from just uploading a custom thumbnail of your choice, and you already know my feelings on that, don't you? This specifically is the ability to add text that is then converted into speech after recording by typing out some text and then choosing an AI voice to narrate it during a YouTube short. Speech to text, otherwise known as automatic captions that are burned into the video, have been announced by YouTube but are not available yet. Anyway, this is what text to speech sounds like.
How to add text to speech directly to a YouTube short.
There are far too many features to mention here, but basically YouTube has really beefed up their offering of Shorts tools. And here are just a couple of examples of games you can play, as well as the ability to answer comments directly in Shorts and set up voting polls. It's mostly disappointing news here. When I say new creator awards, what YouTube have actually done is shrunk the size of the existing ones that are sent out to people who hit 100,000 and 1 million subscribers. That's what you call shrinkflation. But what YouTube have done is release brand new silver and gold play awards. And in the right light, these look absolutely fantastic. But they are heavy, especially this one. I think this might be heavier than the gold play button. And there are no wall mountings either. So I guess you can only put it on shelves. But they do look tremendous. Weird flex, but okay. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't send these out for free. You have to purchase them as an addition. And after taxes plus shipping and handling, yeah, they are quite pricey. Two small updates to the way we watch videos here. Playback speed can be finely tuned now to 0.5 increments all the way up to 2x speed. Personally speaking, I think faster playback is low-key one of the best video features of the last 20 years. I wish my DVR recorder would do this. And you now have a sleep timer that goes all the way up to 1 hour or when the current video ends. These are both nice to have features, aren't they? An ad-free YouTube experience is also nice to have, except for when the premium service you paid for to remove ads starts showing ads. At the moment, this seems to be going through a testing phase in which there will be multiple tiers of YouTube Premium, one of which will still include ads. This is one of those awkward moments where I can't really defend what YouTube is doing, but at the same time, it is the way in which the streaming industry is heading. A paid monthly subscription is no longer enough to completely get away from ads, unless you pay even more. A tremendous amount of new tools and features there that, as far as I know, should be available to absolutely everybody on YouTube. But as I said, YouTube have been very, very busy working on stuff all year, and they have announced a ton more features that haven't fully rolled out. So let's see what they are, starting with the potential game changer. This feature is literally rolling out as I record this video, but the vidIQ channel doesn't have it yet, so keep an eye out for a notification on your channel and this option during the upload process. Simply put, it automatically converts your video's audio into multiple language tracks pretty much instantly and for free. This is an example of how it works.
The actors, and basically they'll actually refine.
Ils affinent la piste de conversation, le dialogue entre eux, afin de correspondre au mouvement des lèvres.
So to be clear on what happened there, on upload of the English language video, YouTube automatically generated different language audio tracks for the video, no effort or payment required. Currently, English will be translated into these languages or these languages translated back into English, but this is just the beginning. We can get into the specifics of just how well this feature works in another video when we have access to it ourselves, but for now, let's just say, wow. It potentially opens your videos up to a much wider global audience, and it costs nothing in terms of time or money. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see just how many viewers actually take advantage of this feature, but I think this has the potential to be one of the best tools YouTube has released in the last decade. Remember when I said more on YouTube communities later? This is what I meant. YouTube is going to open up your community tab so that anybody can post a message on it. Think of it like a subreddit for your channel. Obviously, this is going to increase engagement and conversation on your community tab by a massive amount, but it also brings with it some moderation headaches. The feature was announced 4 months ago now, but still no update as to when it's rolling out to more channels and creators. Okay, this one takes a little bit of explaining. Viewers will have a limited number of hypes they can donate to a video that they enjoy. The videos with the most hype points get onto a leaderboard, which should give those videos more discovery opportunities. The key to this feature is that the hype points are weighted. Smaller channels earn more hype points per hype than large channels. I can't believe that's a sentence that now exists in the world. This will be known as a small creator bonus, but I'm not sure what's classed as a small creator these days. What we do know is that only channels between 500 and 500,000 subscribers will be eligible. So at least that's one feature Mr. Beast can't hack. If you've spent any time on TikTok, this type of live stream gifting will be familiar to you. Viewers buy jewels with real world money and then spend those jewels on digital items that they can share during a vertical format live stream with the creator and their channel. Creators do get a cut of the money spent on these digital items that are sent to them. So I guess it's a fun way to interact with your audience, but you know what happened to this on TikTok, don't you?
Gang gang, gang gang, gang gang, gang gang, gang gang. Ice cream so good, gang gang.
I literally have no words. Maybe you've already heard of Dream Screen and used it already. It's an AI tool that lets you create backgrounds that you can film yourself in front of for YouTube Shorts. But regardless of whether or not you've used it, it's about to get an upgrade with VO that lets you prompt 6-second video clips into existence. As you've already seen, this will be up against some stiff AI video generation competition, such as Sora. To be honest, I think 2025 is going to be the year AI puts all of us creatives out of a job. It was fun while it lasted. That is probably every single YouTube update from 2024 on all of the stuff they're working on into 2025. I do say probably because the chances are I've missed at least one update, and I know of at least one person who will let us know in the comments. I'm looking at you, Doug. But it's not just YouTube who've been hard at work helping creators with new updates. We here at vidIQ have been building tons of new tools to help you ideate, create, and optimize your content. So click here to find out how to grow your channel faster. Otherwise, jump scare.